In 2017, Disney released their horrendous live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, and just like most of the films that Disney puts out these days, it was indeed pretty terrible. And now we have Josh Gad saying 5 years later that Beauty and the Beast remake, he very bravely says this. He says that the Beauty and the Beast remake didn't go far enough. And I think you all know exactly what he's talking about. Of course, he's talking about his character being very brave and stunningly very gay in the film. So we're going to be jumping into this and seeing what this is all about. This is an article that's coming from the one and only, the great Geeks and Gamers. Make sure you go check out Geeks and Gamers over there at the channel or at the website geeksandgamers.com. Become a member over there, all that good stuff. I have very heavy ties with them, and I love Geeks and Gamers and everything else. So let's go ahead and get into this and see what this is all about. Josh Gad says Beauty and the Beast remake didn't go far enough. Ugh. So brave of him to say this all these years later. Now, to be honest, I think that most of the live-action remakes that Disney has made have been pretty terrible, all things considered, and it just goes to show that Disney really is creatively bankrupt in many ways, as is most of Hollywood. We all know this by now, but let's see what Josh Gad has to say about this. So, for those who don't know or remember, 2017's Beauty and the Beast was one of the first times Disney claimed to have their first openly gay character. According to director Bill Condon, Gaston's sidekick LeFou, or aka the Fool, would represent this landmark for the company. So anyway, they did a lot of really weird stuff in the film with that, making him have like a weird attraction thing for Gaston, and then at the end of the movie they have like him dancing with a guy. All of this stuff, but anyway, so throughout the film, LeFou also follows Luke Evans' Gaston worshipfully, and now in an article that he was in today with The Independent, an interview about the film, Josh Gad has this to say. By the way, I'm just going to say this right now, Josh Gad as an actor really does annoy me a lot. He really, really gets on my skin, under my skin, I should say. Him, he also did the voice of the stupid snowman and in Frozen, Olaf. Is that his name? I think that's his name, right? I hate that movie so much that I can't even remember the dumb snowman's name, but I can't stand that snowman, and I want that snowman to melt away into oblivion. But this is what Josh Gad has to say about Beauty and the Beast. We didn't go far enough to warrant accolades. We didn't go far enough to say, look how brave we are. My regret in what happened is that it became Disney's first explicitly gay moment. And it was never intended to be that. It was never intended to be a moment that we should laud ourselves for, because frankly, I don't think we did justice to what a real gay character in a Disney film should be. Now, I have a lot of thoughts about this, okay? So, the first thing that I'm just going to say right now is that, yeah, there is a lot of hypocrisy in Hollywood when it comes to this. It's the same thing with them, with black actors as well. We saw this with Star Wars from Disney as well, where, they talk about how much they want representation and how much that means to them as a company and how much they are going to push and strive for these revolutionary feats, these great moments for diversity in their films. And then they released the Star Wars poster for Force Awakens in China, and they shrink down Finn's character to be just a tiny little character on the poster, barely noticeable, because it turns out that a lot of people in China are kind of racist about that. So, but that just goes to show that they really don't have the convictions that they say that they have. They aren't really wanting diversity because they want diversity. They aren't trying to push this type of stuff because they really want, they want you to be able to see yourself in this film. That's not what they're really doing at the end of the day. It's the same thing with this and many other films that they put out there. They're kind of in this weird pickle right now where they want to, preach about diversity and how much this means to them as a company and how much they strive for it. And then at the same time, they don't want to put, diversity too much in these films because they want to also market these films in a lot of foreign countries that, international markets that aren't as kind towards gay people or just diversity in general as America is. But also keep in mind that according to the left, America is still like the worst country in the world. It's just awful. It's just awful. So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Obviously, their logic does not make any sense at all. But all of that aside, it just goes to show that they really are in this pickle right now, and this is just another thing that proves that. So they wanted to try to push that, you know, Josh Gad playing LeFou was going to be such a huge, a huge gay moment, just a very brave and stunning moment, and they barely just even like they barely even hint at it in the film. And all of that is because, you know, they want to, you know, try to get as much of an audience to go see this film as possible. And it turns out that a lot of the people that, for some reason, still watch Disney movies happen to be conservative audiences with families and everything else. And also because of that, I have a huge hesitation, because I'm like, okay, well, we know that one of the reasons why they're doing this type of stuff is because they want to indoctrinate kids. That is what Hollywood is striving for with their entertainment, is they're trying to indoctrinate kids. Walt Disney has talked about this a lot. He talks about how entertainment is even more educational for and influential on children than education is. So of course this is what Hollywood is trying to do. It's the same thing as the education system in itself. They're all trying to influence children because they know that children are very moldable, and they can impress their viewpoints, their ideologies, their worldviews on these kids while they're young, and get them to think the way that they want them to think about the world. So of course that's one of the reasons why they're pushing the stuff into these types of films. And it's you know, like I said, they really are in a big pickle right now, and they're trying to figure out how to make, you know, their diversity narrative stick without, you know, pushing it too much. So there's a lot of hypocrisy in all of this, but of course that's Hollywood. Hollywood is very hypocritical. We all know this. They are very, very hypocritical. We talk about it all the time here, and we're just gonna continue to see how all this plays out. But I found this to be a very interesting thing what he says here, and he sees the hypocrisy as well. As much as Josh Gad annoys me as a person, he sees the hypocrisy as much as a lot of other people do. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think about what Josh Gad has to say? Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe, leave a like, a comment, all that good stuff. I'd appreciate that a lot. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.